Hey friends, I had a really cool interview just recently with Leonard Bisquera, who also has a YouTube channel called Spontaneous Miracles. And in his interview, we talk a little bit about his book, Wings from Ashes, and some of the struggles that he went through that fed into this book. It's very inspiring, and I'm excited to share this with you. So let's jump right into the interview.
I have self-published a book on Amazon. The title is Wings from Ashes. Yeah. It's a nonfiction book that basically it's all about the there was never a mistake about any struggle that anybody has went through in their lives. And it's like basically an integration of my life story that how I struggled a lot of hurdles in the past and how everything falls into place. Like it swings from ashes because it's inspired by the story of the phoenix, you know, the old mythology of the phoenix where the phoenix was burned to ashes, and the ashes itself was the very thing that rebuild its wings. So basically it's one and the same. So you're never a mistake. There's no mistake in the universe. So I think that's the summary of it. I was an English teacher for 2 years. I taught sixth grade and fifth grade students before. I was writing, you know, when you get inspiration, you just write it on your notebook or you just write it on a piece of paper, or you just type it on your phone, or you just type it on your on any notes on your laptop. Ever since I just had this, just write whatever, just write anything that comes to mind. And then I didn't really had plans that it's gonna turn out to be write your thoughts and make it a book, you know. So ever since I was just writing and writing and writing. Just recently, like maybe 2019 or 2020, like maybe this is gonna be a good book, you know. So that was like a really unplanned unplanned thing in my life.
What kind of stuff do you talk about with your podcast or with your YouTube channel?
It started with like spiritual awakening stories of people. It started with, and then I suddenly find it interesting to listen to stories of people in different walks of life. Like I was talking to an atheist, I was talking to a Gnostic priest, and then I was talking to a shaman, an astrologer. It's really all over the place, but it has expanded my, I don't know, it has expanded my way of seeing things. Like there's no wrong way of seeing reality. There's just whatever feels right for you. Then yeah, I think that's also the writer in me, because I don't see anything wrong with whatever people believe in, you know. So that's the inspiration to like listen to, the curiosity began the channel. Like how do you see life from your lenses of perception? So yeah, every writer, every good book that comes to the shelf in the market has a very deep story of suffering and overcoming, you know. I think that's one of the blessing in trauma, or the blessing in the struggle. Like the story wouldn't have unfolded, or it wouldn't be an inspiration to the masses, or you know, it wouldn't be something that can help someone if there was no depth of pain. I'm not like coming from like be masochistic or like let pain be the story, but I think like the way I see it, it's like every everything that, even if you look back at whoever's listening to this, like if you look back at your life, if everything was fine and dandy, like it wouldn't have like much, I don't know, appreciation to the to the presence right now. I think I see that even the rock bottom, the most depressed moments I've had was like a fertile ground for something to blossom. Like I wouldn't have written my book if I wasn't able to overcome the anxiety, the the sense of unworthiness, and being in a very depressed state for a long time in my teenage or college days, even after. That's yeah, I think that that's really helpful with with the outputs that came to that book, and to my how I write poetry even sometimes, you know.
So, Wings from Ashes, would you tell me a little bit about that book?
It's like the part one was the story of the phoenix, where it's like you're reading a novel, but but it's like in a way it's like telling my story. Like I like this the phoenix went to different towns seeking for answers, and then eventually it found the answers right where it right where he is, like he always had the answer, something like that. And the chapters, the title of the chapters are like shame, guilt, anger, and or what else, like greed or death. It feels like it's something gloomy, but when you really read the whole thing, it's like everything that seems like an ash was a part of its wings. Like it was something that helped the phoenix build its wings, without the guilt, without the shame story, without the anxiety or the sadness or all of the seemingly negative stuff. It wouldn't be the phoenix it is. So that's basically the nutshell of it. But the thing is, like, when I read the book itself, sometimes I even think like, how was I able to write this? Like, it feels like I wasn't the one who write it, because there's a story where, if you write a book, it's supposed to be 20,000 words for it to be a book, or else it's a pocket book, something like that. And when I submitted my book to the manuscript to the publisher, it says you still lack like around 10,000 words. So it took me like a year and a half, writer's block. I wasn't able to write anything. But after like one meditation, like just a random thing, I just sat on my chair, and just suddenly, like, it just flowed for 3 hours. Like for once in one sitting, like I was able to finish like more than 9,000 words, and the book was finished. So I was like, how was I able to write it? So yeah, it was like, I think it's a miracle something. At the beginning, to be honest, especially when you see people make like a million copies, or like make money from their writings, and there's the tendency to compare, like, how can I get there? But really, it's, to me, like, even if you market it so good, it still won't last. Like, if the motivation is to make money, it's still like, yeah, like, what I realized though is, if you don't care about the sales, it follows. You suddenly like get the sales when you're like, don't focus primarily on it. Like, it's just a byproduct of, you just wanted to share. The book markets itself in a way you cannot even imagine. I don't know. Initially, it was like sharing the link, sharing the book with your close friends and family and relatives, because no matter what, they will support you. They will. And then I also like look for communities on Facebook, and there's a lot, like, there's a lot of like communities where you can promote your book for free. Or I even tried, like, but I haven't like really attempted. Like, I look for, like, in Upwork or Fiverr, like, they have like, I will promote your book for and this, but I haven't tried that. I feel like, I don't know. What I've been doing lately is just share. If I have the opportunity share it on YouTube or share it on Facebook or Instagram. I just share it and I leave it up to whoever will see it. Will like it I got past the point where if the book sells or not, it doesn't matter. Like if the book gets a lot of sales this month, then it's okay. If the book gets zero, that's also equally okay. So I think that was like the what really like released all the expectations and it's really tiring energetically to like expect something. So I just share whenever I could in any group or any platform that I could possibly share it to. I think the thing that prevents in general that prevents anybody from doing something is it's because the society is built that way. You have to get this license to practice this, which is okay, it's not wrong, but in terms of writing, I don't think there's a credential, unless you're writing a textbook for like children or because I did write before, like I wasn't able to finish it. I did write a textbook for kinder or nursery, and there's a lot of rubrics and there's a lot of guidelines because it's for a school, it's for a textbook. But if you're just if you want to write, like there's no validation from any authority, like you can just write, and if you need somebody to correct your grammar, there's a lot of people who can do that, but there's no really prerequisites to like writing or or a validation that hey, you can be an author, because I think anybody anybody with an idea can write a book. It doesn't need any special like achievement or something. I like to for you to be an author. Yeah, I think that's the main point of it. Like, and there's also no deadline. Like, yeah, I don't. There's no like you need to write the book this year. I think that creates like pressure. That creates like forcing, and when you force the writing, like what you said earlier, it really doesn't come out as natural something. So even if the book is like 10 years in the making, you can just let it flow however it's gonna play out. Yeah.